All right, what's up, guys? Got another three-parter coming your way, going over an exercise. In this case, the cable cross tricep extension. This video, I'm basically going to go up a setup, and then from there, we're going to go part two. There's going to be some form and some execution stuff, and then part three, I'll get in a little bit more to some advanced stuff. So again, first and foremost, who is this exercise for? Cable cross is a great solution for people that when they're doing normal press downs, whether with a little V-bar or a straight bar or whatever, your elbows tend to flare out. So it's larger individuals generally that have a hard time keeping their upper arm smashed in tight. If when you're doing press downs, you can keep your upper arm smashed in and perpendicular to the ground, then cable cross tricep extensions are probably not an exercise you need to do. You can still make them work, but it's not really a necessity. And I'll show you where I see some mistakes where people that actually set up like this, so they're actually set up fine to use like a straight bar or a V-bar or just a normal rope, but they set up and do the cable cross instead and actually make it not line up. So it can line up to be a lot healthier for the elbow joints, but you can still mess it up. So for the setup, I'm going to go over different handle options first and foremost, discuss the pros and cons of a couple different ones. I'm going to give you my favorite discovery of everything I've ever done in the gym, once I get through showing this and then the cables and some other stuff. And then I'm going to show you how you determine if you're in the right position before you get going. And then obviously part two, we're going to get going. So as far as what we're looking at for handle options, the first option that you could have would basically be a single rope. So the problem's already here now is someone's going to say, my gym doesn't have those or whatever. One, you could always buy them, they're cheap. But I understand if you don't have these. But this is a very, very good option that has a couple good solutions. One being it's a something kind of actually sturdy to hold on to. And you have the butt of the rope here to press into, so load's not going to be a limiting factor. But I'll show you something I hate about this, is when you actually get two in and get going, when you go for them to cross over, these things like click together. Like this drives me nuts. So if I go to do a press down the position I'd want to be in, these click together, those ball things click together, and only at the end does it feel okay. And this pisses me off. I'm pissed off, I'm pissed off, I'm pissed off, I'm okay. I'm pissed off, I'm pissed off, I'm okay. And I don't really like going through that the whole time as I'm doing these. And sometimes if you're really good, the carabiners actually clip together and then you get stuck there, in which case I just quit the whole workout because I'm so angry and pissed off. So ropes can be a good option for output, but not a good option for being pissed off when they cross over. So the next easiest option, this one is great because you don't require any equipment, is actually just grabbing the cable itself. So if you grab the cable itself on the cable and have kind of that ball thing right up against the butt of your hand, this can be an okay option where one, it lines up great, two, you don't need any equipment, which is always a plus. And when you're doing these extensions crossing over, nothing crosses over. So it's just cable on cable. You don't have to get pissed off. Now the issue with this one is, this is what you're holding on to. So if you get any type of appreciable load at some point in time, it's a pain in the ass, grip can be limiting, and I could even make an argument for holding on to something like this is probably one of the worst things to hold on to actually have a nice, strong, firm grip and have some good stability basically through your arm. You can hold on to the ball, that's okay, but you run into the same issues with that as well there too. So that can be a limiting factor. Now, what do I have here? Look at these cuffs. Oh, they just happen to be my brand. Shameless plug. I will have these links somewhere if you guys want some cuffs. But if you put the cuffs on, this solves some of the problems, where now if you have cuffs, you won't have limited output. So basically you just put this through the butt of the hand, you grab on tight there, and you can load the shit out of that, where basically I have almost all the pressure through the outside of my hands, and then I'm gripping it tight. So basically I have a nice stable hand, nice stability through the forearm on the elbow, and from there you can get going. Now you have the same issue here though. I'm going, oh, look at this, I'm pissed off. As soon as these cross over, I'm pissed off, I get angry, I'm ruining my whole set. So this is my single favorite discovery that I've ever done. Someone's probably done this before too, but I'm gonna call this, I'm going to attach my last name to it. This is the Bennett mode extensions. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to put my last name on it. But take the carabiner, clip it over top the ball thing. Take the carabiner off, clip it over top the ball thing. Sorry about the ball thing. Don't want to get too technical on you guys, but it is what it is. And now, lo and behold, grab in here, same thing, not limited by output. Nice neutral hand position, which is also great for these. Grab a hold here. And look, you can do the set without getting pissed off. Nothing runs into each other. You're also not limited by load. And I should have mentioned as well too, it's much easier to keep that upper arm aligned in a neutral hand position. Underhand can be okay for alignment, but you're limited by grip. And lots of times when you go fully pronated grip, it makes those elbows flare out. So that's some options to consider as far as setup with the cable cross. The last thing I'm going to show you is how to know if you're lined up right. So again, everyone's got different widths. So I always get questions on this. And how far forward or back you stand will determine also what kind of upper arm position you should have. How wide or close the cables are will also determine it. So the easiest thing you can possibly do is take them down. Wherever you're going to stand, take it all the way to full extension and get that cable to line up with the upper arm. So again, in this position where I'm at, I pretty much have to hold it up here. If I walk in close, you can see I have to hold it almost up here to make it line up through the elbow. So now the whole time I'm pressing, I've got that lined up through the elbow, and that's a pretty darn good spot from here. So whether I'm here or I'm standing back or wherever I'm at, take a second to basically look and see, is that cable lined up with the upper arm, most importantly lined up to the elbow, because what happens is, hopefully you can see, if I'm tucked in tight, like I said, I'm one of these narrow people, and I'm going through here, now I've got my upper arm is hinging straight up and down, and I've got a cable going at an angle. So because you all have different gyms, different cables, different whatever, some are gonna stand closer, some are gonna stand farther away. You know, you basically wanna take the time to go all the way to extension, line that cable up, and make sure that you actually have it matched. Last position, and this is I'm gonna lead into, I'm gonna finish this one when I get into the advanced options. But for the most part, people are gonna say, okay, well, where do I stand? Further back, closer, whatever. Stand closer. So for a lot of reasons, which I'll cover a little bit more in the advanced video, this is gonna be your best place just to be optimal. So one, you can make sure it's lined up. You can pull those cables to the point where basically they're lined up with the elbow. And then also this is gonna have a very good loading pattern, again, which I'll clarify a little bit more in the advanced video. There's nothing wrong with sometimes standing further back, standing in the middle, but those accomplish different goals. So hopefully that gives you an idea of how to properly set these up. Choose your handle, choose your upper arm position, so make sure you're not too tucked, not too flared, make sure the cable lines up there. Stand relatively close is gonna be the most efficient option until we cover some different advanced goals. And hopefully that helps. If you found this helpful, don't forget to do the YouTube thing for me, like, subscribe, share with some friends, and come back for part 2 where I go over some execution tips as far as what position you wanna be in and things you wanna focus on as you're actually going through the motion.